And I told myself, okay, I'm going to write this without thinking about how to produce it and how much it's going to cost and how difficult it's going to be. And how am I going to learn to throw a lasso? Spoiler.
And that is exactly why, for example, I don't really like sharing something that I've written with people from whom I know that there's going to be a lot of questions like, but how are you going to shoot that? Oh, that's not realistic. No, but why did you put that? Like, how do you even imagine that? Because when you're writing, you don't have to imagine actually how you're going to shoot it, especially initial drafts. Otherwise, it's going to just constrain you and you're going to become stuck.
When you start out as an actor, people would ask me, so where do you act or where do you play? Where can I see you? I wasn't acting in anything. I wasn't on stage anywhere. I was just in acting classes. I ended up never telling anyone that I was an actor.
Didn't feel confident in it, like saying that I'm an actor, even after having had a leading role in a feature film.
You don't have to be famous to be a working actor, and you don't have to make money to be an actor. And if you like to act, and if that's what you love to do, then you're an actor.
Hello and welcome to Ambitchiously Intelligent podcast. Today we are joined by Verena Müller, and she's an actor, writer, and producer. We are very excited to have you here with us today.
Girl.
Welcome. And,
thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for making the time. And I'd like to start with a question, how it all started. You had such a winding and self-made journey from what I gathered into acting. And I'd love to ask you, what was your beginning? How did you get the first taste of acting? How did you know that this is something that is your true calling?
Well, I spent a year after high school in California, in Santa Barbara, at an international language school. And that's why I joined the theater program, or the theater class. And we had a performance of The Christmas Carol planned for Christmas. And that's when I actually did my first kind of acting. And I remember I auditioned for all of the parts and then ended up playing the lead part, which was Scrooge, a grumpy old man with a gray wig. And yeah, that's where it kind of started. And then after that, I took acting classes there, and then once I came back to Austria, I knew that's what I wanted to do.
Beautiful.
Do you remember how was it like to play Scrooge, which is also, an interesting choice as well, because originally from Christmas Carol, obviously Scrooge is portrayed by a male protagonist. So, how was it for you?
I don't know. It was, the cast was made up by a bunch of international students from like all over the world, and it was an adaptation, so it was kind of a mixture between the Christmas Carol, the original story, and parts of the nativity scenes from the Christian story, with three kings and Joseph and Maria finding shelter. So and yeah, it was very playful. I remember, to like, now looking back and knowing a lot of you know acting skills and craft and techniques, and I yeah, there's a lot more to it than changing your voice and memorizing lines and playing a character. But it was a fun thing to do, and working with these people together and bringing this to life was a great experience. And that was what I thought was magical. They drew the backdrops and played music, and we had people who filmed the show and did lighting, and so it was the group experience, which was amazing. And I was sad when it was over because we only did it once, of course.
Okay, and that's cool. And then you came back. So you start in the States, and then you come back.
Yes,
You
I
go to
I started
Austria.
there, and yeah, and then I came back, and I wasn't accepted at any of the acting schools here in Vienna or um, anywhere. So I was a little frustrated, and also I was homesick to California.
Mm,
So I went back for a couple more months and took an acting class there that I really liked. And that's where it kind of clicked for me, where like, if this is something that I want to do, then I'll find a way. And that's what I did. And
yes, you did.
I just, tried out different acting classes and found one that I really loved
Mm-hmm.
and stuck with it. And that's where I did my full term studies, so to say. Yeah, it was
Mm-hmm.
the Actors Workshop Vienna. It was based off the Eric Morris method, and who my teacher had actually studied with in person. And yeah, from there on it went.
Well, tell us that. Like from there on, where did it go? Because I know you were talking about that you had initially an acting community that fell apart. That was in Austria, right?
Yeah, that was, I mean, it was, the like that, it was like like the name was the Actors Workshop Vienna. So it was initially a workshop. It was
Mm.
classes twice a week, and there were always, students, beginners, advanced, professionals in the same class,
Mm-hmm.
and we, uh, people came and went, and then kind of grew, and then we did a few performances, but then eventually it kind of it faded out a little bit. Also because my acting teacher, he got really sick
Mm.
in the end, and so I ended up taking over classes. I was his assistant, and then
Mm.
I ended up taking over his classes sometimes, subbing for him. And but yeah, then I don't know, if you don't have that person who kind of holds it together,
Mm-hmm.
then people just drifted off, I guess. And yeah,
True. And what kept you
I
going? Because that's the way I know you. You're amazing. You have so much energy and you just stamina. And what kept you then going? Because I know it's really harsh with like when you lose the community, like if it's a beautiful community, first of all, you are in California and have this amazing experience. Come back to Austria and like, hey, I'm gonna go back. Went back, studied with this amazing teacher, come back here, find your community here, and then that kind of falls apart. What kept you
yeah, well,
going?
it's I I always try to, if I'm not where I want to be, or if something doesn't work out, I've always tried to find new ways
Mm-hmm.
to make things work. Or if you want to develop yourself, or if you want to be somewhere else in your
Mm-hmm.
life or in your career, then you got to change things up to, make a difference and make it different.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did. I found new workshops, new groups, and did my own things. Still had, some of the people I worked together. We did some readings or a play, and short films. So that's what I've always tried to do, to create my own work.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and eventually I ended up founding my own theater company for female-driven English theater here in
Mm-hmm.
Vienna. And that was a great experience. I produced and acted in all of our productions, and yeah, that kind of ended sadly with COVID. And also, it was in the end, I was like, I'd rather do something for a bigger audience than maybe like a couple hundred people. And yeah, so I ended up, after, when COVID hit, I was like, hey, okay, what now? I mean, I was lucky actually that year. I even booked a job with an audio play that I recorded with another group of people that year. And yeah, that's when I started actually, looking for workshops online. I mean, everything went on Zoom
Online,
back
yeah.
then, right?
Yeah, I did.
And yeah, that's when I started.
Yes.
A friend of mine recommended this class. It was a website makeover masterclass, and with a guy who's. I mean, I've done several classes with him ever since. His name is Jonathan Tilley, and that was a great class. Everybody was on Zoom, and we had the instructions and the tasks for the day, and then every night we would meet and talk about our difficulties. And after 2 weeks, I had a new website. So,
Amazing.
and yeah, and then I found this other workshop that I did online with the casting director Lucy Lennox. She ended up later founding the Actors Home, which is a great platform and a network for actors. And yeah, and funnily enough, I met an actor from Vienna on that workshop, and which ended up connecting us again. And yeah, she's still one of my best friends to this day. So yeah, so I guess I would say I always try to find new ways to improve myself and to get work, to create work.
And you said something earlier during our pre-talk that really struck a chord with me because, and I'll explain, I've been struggling for a while with calling myself writer, which is something that I'm doing for a long, long time since I can remember myself. But this, for now, is no way of, making a living. And so I was questioning it for myself if I am allowed, I've got a permission from someone to call myself a writer. And then today you said that, you figured or you realized, you came to a realization, because I think there is a journey there as well, like a journey inside, that you figured that to be able to call yourself an actor, you don't have to actually have acting as a primary source of your, earning, or you don't have to be famous in any way. It's just who you are. This is what you do, and this is how you introduce yourself, because that's the truth. So can you tell us a little bit about this realization and what it was about for
Yeah,
you?
I mean, do you write? Then you're a writer, right?
Yes.
So, and it doesn't matter if you make money with it or if you sell anything. And that's how I see it now. Now, it took me a long time to realize that, but yeah, if you like to act and if that's what you love to do, then you're an actor, I believe. And I mean, of course, they need some sort of training and maybe know your craft, but that is, I think, yeah, goes without saying. Yeah, yeah. When you start out as an actor, or even in my studies, people would ask me, "So, where do you act, or where do you play? Where can I see you?" And I never knew what to say because I wasn't acting in anything. I wasn't on stage anywhere. I was just in acting classes, and I was, learning the craft, learning the techniques, and learning characters and reading plays, but it was not like I was an actor on TV. And I ended up never telling anyone that I was an actor because I didn't know what to say actor. But, and I mean, I believe all actors go through that, or you eventually, you make up something that you say because, or you kind of diverge in the conversation to something else. But yeah, you know, most of the time when you get to the bottom of it, you ask people, so what do you watch, or what theaters do you go to? You might have seen me, and then they end up saying, well, I don't really watch TV, or I don't go to the theater. I don't like theater. I think theater is boring. So, and then they couldn't have seen you in anything, even if you were on TV or on stage anywhere. So
True. And there are also this phase, like for us actors, like I know exactly what you're talking about, and Valeria, and it was like for a long time, I was like people asking me, I'm like, what, you know, I couldn't say that I didn't feel confident in it, like saying that I'm an actor. Even after having had a leading role in a feature film, I was like, why is it hard for me to say, like, this is what I am? I am an actor. And there are also the phases where you have, like, we have all these short films, beautiful work, meaningful work a lot of the times, and they're in film festival circuits. So nobody really can see them, even if people want to, because they're stuck there.
exactly.
So I've had that a lot of times, and I'm like, well, it's in the, and, you know, you can't see it, but I really did act in one, like. And I think it's beautiful that you found, because the way you said it to us the other day, or this morning, to be honest, you were just like, no matter if I'm earning a lot with it or earning at all, no matter where I'm playing or playing at all, no matter if I'm famous or not, because that's something that I would love to talk to you about. You said something that sparked, and I realized this just, I think a few months ago. There are so many actors that are earning a lot of money consistently with acting, and we don't even know them.
Exactly, yeah. And that was one realization that, yeah, kind of broke it down to me that it's, I don't have to be a recognizable face on TV to be an actor, or for people to recognize me, for people like ask me, so have I seen you in anything, to actually have them, because you know, they wouldn't ask me if they had seen me in anything, or if they would recognize me. So it's kind of obsolete, the question. So yeah, and also, yeah, you don't have to be famous to be a working actor, and you don't have to make money to be an actor. And yeah, and also, I mean, when the first couple of short films I did were mainly originally started out as like as a proof of concept for a feature film script that I wrote, but ended up just being showreel scenes. And I know that back then I made those scenes because I wanted to be seen, and I wanted to, you know, have to get more work basically, and not to actually make these projects because I love it. You know, there was always this agenda behind it. And that's kind of changed within me over the last years too, that I want to make projects because I love doing them, and not to get to somewhere else where I want to be, you know.
That's very interesting. I would love to dive into that with you, because I wanted to go there with you, exactly with the producing, because you do write. You're very talented, and you have produced, as you said, you had a feature film that you wrote, and
Yes.
then produced it, and ended up, as you said, proof of concept
Yeah, I didn't produce the feature film. I just produced a couple
The
of scenes
proof of
from it.
concept you produced, and then it was
Yeah,
like 2 scenes in the end for the proof of
yeah,
concept. And then what is interesting is that you allowed it to change even, which so many
yeah,
times happens in this industry, that holding on to something like for your life, like then you're just going to get stuck. But you didn't do that. You had it as a feature, and then you went on and changed it, right? And Netflix comes into that
yes,
story. Could you tell us about that? Because I think it's
yes.
beautiful.
I mean, I had the original idea. I think it was in 2018, and then it took about, I don't know, 3 years for me to actually write the thing, start writing, because I'm not a writer, right? And yeah, and then I had this feature script, and I had a couple people read it. It was, I did not get, of course, the reaction I was hoping for. I thought I had the next, Oscar winner,
Oscar winner.
which is, it wasn't. And also, when people like tell you that like your main idea is kind of not going to work here in Vienna. And then, yeah, I think it was a year later, I changed it. There was a competition for Netflix. It was Pitch Your Pilot. That's what it was called. And so I changed the whole thing and wrote a pilot from that feature film, and wrote a pitch for the competition. Didn't go anywhere, obviously, but it was just the challenge of doing that and writing it. And like, I don't know, I think it was like a couple of weeks that I rewrote the whole script, wrote a pilot episode, and wrote the pitch, and
And changed
ended
it to a
up entering
series,
into a couple other.
right? Sorry. And you changed it into a series. That's the thing. You had a
Yeah, it
feature
was.
and
Yeah, it was. I wrote a pilot, like the first episode, and then had like a story bible for like an episode arc and a season arc for the thing, and then ended up entering in a few other competitions and screenwriting competitions, and for funding. Some one was for like like even with some guidance or something, but it all led to nothing. Yeah, but
but in the end you have two
that was
scenes for
that.
your showreel.
Yes, and it's still on my mind, the whole series, and um yeah, I think about it still, and I don't know, maybe I'll keep on writing it, rewriting it.
Do you believe that some projects are kind of like waiting for the right timing?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and I also, I've heard this once, that it's good to like do something else in between and write something else, and like go back to it eventually, to like,
Yeah.
free your mind off it and
Right.
Yeah.
do
Bring
something
a
else.
fresh blood and air
Yeah.
into it. You mentioned a couple of times about the acting workshops and the network that you have there, friendships basically with other actors and other creatives that kind of became your backbone through it all. Why do you think it's so important for for actors, working actors, to keep going back to workshops? What is it about for you? And
I think it's because the industry is so out of your control, and the times you are actually working on a project are most of the times so minimal that you just have to work on your own by yourself and with other people to just stay on top of it, and keep practicing your craft and working on your techniques, and so that once the opportunity comes along, you're ready to go, and you're not scared. You don't have to go back to square one. I'm like, oh, how did I do that? So what was it like memorizing? Because memorizing, for example, is a muscle too. If you don't use it, if you don't work it, it gets tedious because it just takes so much longer if you don't practice it. So yeah, that's why I always try to finding groups of actors and or coaches to work with and workshops that I can practice my craft. And I found, yeah, the International Acting Studio where I've been working for the past 2 years, I think. Is it 2 or 3 years maybe? And yeah, so that continuous scene study classes that really has put me on a different level. And it just, you have the possibility to explore new characters that, most of the times you can't even, you don't have the chance to work on. And gave me the freedom also to try out different accents. And yeah, it's just so much fun. And I met so many great actors from all over the world, and some of them became close friends, even though I don't even know if I can call them close friends because sometimes I don't even know them that much, but there's just a connection that you have with someone you work on a scene with. And I love that. And I love that we cheer each other on when somebody gets a job booked, and it's just great to have that. And like communities like the Actors Home, for example, where you get feedback and you get support, and it's very important because it can get very lonely at times. You work with yourself, by yourself, on your scenes, on your characters. It's mostly at home
True.
by yourself.
By yourself. That can be really lonely. And something you said too was it also helps you to keep on going and not, because if you are in a community, you're not alone. It's just
Yeah.
more fun.
Yeah, and it's also it's a lot about recommendations too. People talk, and people recommend other colleagues, and it's I wouldn't say that's like the main part, but I've had things happen because a colleague recommended me, and it's just so much better to go through it with other people and
Would you say
not
it's even
alone.
essential for actors?
Yes, yeah.
And why?
Because there's, you get rejections so many times and so often, and it's just I mean, you get at a point you get used to it, but it's when bigger auditions happen and I get a rejection after, I give myself like a day or a couple days to grieve, but
Smart.
not more. Like I'm moving on. I'm like, and when you have people around you who understand that, then that's essential.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rejection. That's the thing. And talking about auditioning, Spanish. What was going on in your mind when you got that audition? We're talking about your amazing audition that Verena. We
Yeah,
can say more than just
I
Spanish. I'm just going to say that. And she doesn't speak
yeah,
Spanish, really?
I
And
don't.
like,
Yeah,
and
I
what
got
did you
an.
learn from it? I mean, and just not just that. I think I have a bigger question. Like, how the hell were you able to do that in 24 hours? Can you just tell us the story? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I have no idea, honestly. The story is this. I got an email from my agent that a casting director has requested me for a role in an international film, and saying, "Yeah, Verena, she's perfect. If she wouldn't mind doing the lines in Spanish." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I can do a few lines in Spanish. I had Spanish for a couple of years, like 15 years ago, 20 years ago." And then he sent me the sides. It was 4 pages, like full on Spanish dialogue. And not even like foreigner speaking Spanish. It was an American who speaks Spanish well, Mexican Spanish. So I couldn't have done it with my friend who is also an actor, and she's half Mexican and half Serbian, and she recorded the lines for me, and I memorized them. I studied the intonations, pronunciations, and the rhythm. And then I had I think I got the sides like at 11 on a Wednesday, and I had to record it by Friday at 5 or something. So yeah.
And you
Yeah,
memorized
but
four
I did it,
pages?
and it was 4 pages. It has 2 scenes, and it was great.
Amazing.
When a casting director asks you to do something like that, that's a big honor,
It
and
is.
it's a great call. I didn't get it, but it it was really fun doing it, and I love me a challenge, right?
May I challenge you? Do you remember like one phrase or something? Don't tell us anything about the project. Obviously, that is definitely
No,
not.
no, I don't remember anything. It got delete like
Straight away.
That's how we work.
straight
That's how
away.
you have to
That's
clear
how
out
it
the
works.
space.
Short-term memory, yeah, clear out the
You have to clear out the
space.
space to be ready for the next one. It is what it is. Now, I mean, but that's
Yeah, I
something about
remember Buenos
you.
Dias.
Yeah, right. But that's something about you that you're really quick on. I remember we were both at the Berlinale and we got this audition.
Right.
And we had like such a short time turnover. Like it
Yeah.
was
Well,
crazy.
I got lucky. I got it a couple days earlier, or
Oh,
a day
right. You
earlier. I
got it
think it was.
earlier.
I got it the
Right.
day before I left.
But still,
Yeah.
you're pretty fast at. And that's something you were talking about is memorization is a muscle and it's
Yes.
training. Because
Yeah.
I would, a lot of times before, I would have been like, why am I so stupid? And why can't I learn this immediately? And what, da, 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 da. And then at one point you realize when you're in it, at one point you're like, oh, I can memorize a page now like this. Why? Huh? What happened? It's a
Exactly. Yeah.
muscle.
Yeah,
Training.
and the same is with, when you, like I've been working on in this scene study classes with Adam at the International Acting Studio, and we get like a scene, different scene each month. So you're in training all the time, and you meet on Zoom with your scene partner, and you work on the scene in class, and you work again, you rehearse again, you go back to it, and I couldn't have ever done an audition like that if I wasn't in training like that. I'm ready.
I love that. I'm ready,
Ready.
For
Yes.
everyone out there, Verena is amazingly
Yes.
talented actress. And she can write your
Thank you.
ass off and produce. Just saying.
Maybe the next project is going to be in some other creative language.
Uh, I'm gonna stick with German and English
Are you
for
sure?
Okay.
now, I think.
Icelandic.
What?
Maybe
Icelandic.
Italian.
Iceland?
You're getting Icelandic.
I don't know. Maybe French.
Oh.
I don't know.
Yes. Let's manifest that.
I've never done that. I don't know. I suppose that's even more difficult. Even though I studied Spanish for French for 5 years. But
Okay.
Well, there we have it.
Then it's gonna come your way. I want to ask you about the project that is currently in pre-production, and you can share as much or as little as you can, obviously at this stage. And it's something that you wrote. It's a short film, and
Yeah.
as far as I understand, you already casted it. So, can you tell us about this
Yeah,
project?
it's a short film I wrote that also, one thing that, apparently ideas have to brew in my head for years and years for me to eventually realize them. Who knows how long it's going to take to actually film this thing, but we will see. It's a few ideas that I've had that I wanted to do, and again wanted to do as like a like a skills reel, or like a just for fun. One is like a film noir scene, and I wanted to do something with horses because I used to have a horse for 28 years, and I took on carriage driving a couple of years ago, which I really enjoy. And yeah, so I kind of wanted to, initially do like a skills reel from that. And then I was like, why don't I just put it together and make an actual short film, because I've done the short scenes. I want to do like a whole film. And then it's like, I think I don't know, maybe it's going to be like 8 minutes, 10 minutes. I don't know. I'm not sure. But yeah, so right now it's in sort of development, pre-production. I'm trying to put together a team, looking for a producer and maybe an assistant director, maybe a director. I'm not sure. The thing is, I have this vision, what it's supposed to be like, and when you're a director, you want to bring in your own vision, and I don't want to argue with a director over that vision, because I have a DOP who has also great ideas for the visual side of it, and yeah, I think it's going to be great, and has like different cinematic aspects and color schemes, because it's different genres that are intertwined. And yeah, and one other thing that I realized is that I don't want to work alone anymore. I don't want to do things by myself anymore. It's hard to find people I trust and that I want to work with, who are reliable. But I'm realizing I just can't do it by myself, everything, even though I would like to. But yeah, so that's that. And I'm trying to as I said, put together a team, and then get some funding and maybe some sponsors. You know how it is.
How it is here, particularly in Austria, at least it's or the European market. We have
Yeah.
that. How did you, if I may go back to the, proof of concept that then ended up being scenes on your show reel? How did you how big was your team? You were the
Very
leading
small.
actor. How long did you shoot? How long was the pre-production and the post-production? How did that all? Because you were shooting in Austria, and I think,
Yeah.
did you get funded for that, or was it a
No.
self-funding? Okay.
No, I did. That was everybody worked for free, and I mean, we only had it was 5 people. Yeah, I think 5 people. Yeah,
Which is a lot in the
first
independent
one.
market.
The first one. I mean, we were lucky because it was COVID still, and it was I got a chance to film in an actual bar, so. And he didn't even charge us anything,
Wow.
so that was really cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it was Addicted to Rock. If you're ever in Vienna, go check it out. They have a great collection of gins. Yeah, so we did that. Yeah, it was 2 actors, my director, and I mean, it was you've had them both on your podcast. It was Roxana and Eric Stern,
Yeah.
and yeah, and then I had a camera operator, and for the second one, I had yeah, it was the same, I think. Yeah, and I had a friend of mine who helped out with some of the reflectors, lightings, because that was an outdoor shoot,
Mm-hmm.
which was, but it was like maybe I don't know 5-6 hours tops, so like half a day.
For each scene, or
Yeah,
got it. Okay. And did you shoot?
but it was like 2 years apart.
Oh, that's what
So
I
in
wanted
the
to
end,
ask. Why?
yeah, it was 2 years apart because yeah, because of COVID initially, and then it just when you don't get paid for anything, everybody has things to do, and then to like get everyone together, and especially for the second one to set a date then where everybody's available, and I had to rent some of the equipment, and we had to check for the weather, of course, and so yeah, so it's ended up not. I couldn't really use it as a proof of concept because also I'd cut my hair. I looked different, even though it was the same role. Yeah.
And what can you take from that that will help you now with your short film now, which is now not going to be a scene, but it's going to be you're really shooting the short film.
Well, I mean, what I'm thinking is that even if it's like a whole film and it's several scenes, I probably wouldn't do it in like 3 days because I mean, we've all been at these sets for short films for 2-3 days, and then you work, and a regular day ends up being like 12, 14 hours, and then you have to be there again the next day for 12, 14 hours, and it's very exhausting, and
Yeah.
people get frustrated and tired. So maybe I'll just, I mean, it depends on the team, you know. Of course, it's more difficult to bring everyone together for several days, but I'd probably do it like that, just one scene or one picture in one day, and not, or maybe even more days because of locations. But I wouldn't probably not pack too much in one day.
So you want to give yourself and the crew the time to be able to get
Yeah, I
really
mean, that's
everything
probably
you want.
every producer's nightmare because of budgeting. The least days you have, the less it costs. I don't know,
Okay, so what you
but
are looking for is like really having the time and the
yeah, I
possibility to
guess.
really get everything, you know, that you want to
Yeah,
capture.
I mean, I would like, that's just how I am. I would just plan it extensively, but I wouldn't want the stress of like moving to 3 different locations in one day or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. I really, I, I've told myself, after I wrote the short film, which was also because of a group of people that I'm at a filmmakers mastermind group that I'm part of. We met every Sunday over the past 6 months, where we read screenplays and discussed them. We even had a few table reads. And then the guy said, "Well, why don't y'all like start writing yourself now? You've read enough. We've talked a lot. We've talked enough. Just write yourself scenes, even just short scene." And then that was the spark that ignited me writing this short film. And I told myself, okay, I'm going to write this without thinking about how to produce it and how much it's going to cost and how difficult it's going to be. And how am I going to learn to throw a lasso? Spoiler. But so I just wrote the thing without thinking of all of that, you know. No budgeting restrictions while writing.
Wow.
And that's how I kind of want to keep doing it and taking it step by step, just to, you know, not think about the final outcome or the actual shooting of it, because I would go crazy, and just take it one step at a time, and just think, okay, to find a producer. I want to make a team, you know, and then have a budget, and then put up some money, so we're all a little more relaxed too. You know? Once there's a little bit of money, there's a little bit of relaxation. You know, you know how it is. If you, and I didn't want to ask people to do something for free. Actually, it's weird, even though, you know, everybody does it, and I've done it, but it's, I don't know why I have such a big hesitation with that.
I wanted to ask you about, I mean, this is the other point that already I want to say, but there was a different thought in my head before, so I'm going to start with that one. I wanted to ask you about the advice that you could potentially give to like people who are more or less newcomers in the industry. But you already did. You said that when you're writing, you know, you don't need to keep up with the budgeting constraints. And I think that's a very important advice. And that is exactly why, for example, I don't really like sharing my, like, something that I've written with people from whom I know that there's going to be a lot of questions like, but how are you going to shoot that? Oh, that's not realistic. No, but why did you put that? Like, how do you even imagine that? Because when you're writing, you don't have to imagine actually how you're going to shoot it, especially initial drafts. Otherwise, it's going to just constrain you and you're going to become stuck in this style. So this is
it's
great.
really hard.
Yeah, and then you can go back and like look at it from a different perspective and see, yeah, well, okay, maybe we're not going to shoot in this space with this, you know, kind of like Zeiss lens camera. That's not going to happen. But like, you know, it was a nice thought anyway. And it kept the flow going.
Right.
What other advices can you come up with?
I don't. If you want to do it, you will find a way, and to do it. I mean, it doesn't matter what. If it's acting, if it's producing, if it's writing, if it's directing. It's interesting. I heard this just recently, that it's so weird that, and I don't know if there's any directors out there who do that, but how many directors direct without, you know, aside from when they're shooting a film? And actors, we do it all the time, you know. We go to workshops, we train ourselves. So I would just say, yeah, just do it. And yeah, I mean, I just saw a video of this guy who won Britain's Got Talent, I think it was. And he said that one of his mentors told him to stay at it for 5 years and keep trying for 5 years. And the interviewer said that that's a great advice, because it's once you've done it for 5 years, you might as well keep at it. And because once you've done it 5 years, you don't quit. And I've tried many times to quit, and usually when I decided to quit, I was like, okay, I'm not doing that. And then I lie awake in bed and I come up with all these crazy creative ideas, and I can't quit.
I feel you.
So I think that's my advice. Just keep at it. And money's tight, then just, find a way, pay your bills. And I mean, if you end up doing something that you like even more than acting or your creative job, then even better. I wish I had found something that I equally liked as much as acting. And yeah.
You said something very interesting before now, and you said that the reason you're doing it has changed. Can we dive a little bit into that?
Yeah, I think you're referring to that. Yeah, because when I did the proof of concept or wanted to do a proof of concept, so that was like I wrote a screenplay for a feature film, and I ended up shooting scenes to eventually produce the film or have a proof of concept to produce the film. And then ended up just having showreel scenes and also just to promote my acting. And so the difference now is I think it's that I don't work on my projects to get noticed for something else or to get other jobs or to get somewhere else. I like to work on my projects because I love doing them. Because this is the work. It's not, the work isn't being on set and working as an actor. That's just the result of it. Or the trophy, maybe.
Okay, this is a very healthy way of looking at it too, in a way of it's being in the now. That's what you're then really able to do now. Because a lot of us are always chasing something, running. I had the same. See me, like wanting this thing to be seen and thinking acting is the best way to do it. Nope. It's not. Because in acting, you need to see yourself. You need to really go deep and see, like, get to know yourself to be able to play other characters. So that's a beauty of it. That is the beauty of it. But in the beginning, I didn't realize that, obviously.
Yeah.
And well, tell me, that what you're talking about is like you're able now to be in the now and enjoying every step.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like, for example, I did a few times, I did a 30-day Reels challenge for Instagram, right? Posting a reel every day for 30 days. It's exhausting. But it's a challenge again. I love a challenge, right? I've said that. But yeah, and it came to a point where I'm like, okay, I have to post something because if I don't post anything, I'm not present and I'm not, and now I'm like, yeah, I post something if I want to and if I want to share something. And if I share something, I'm proud of it. And I don't believe in algorithms anymore. And I've realized I'm in rooms where I don't even know I'm in.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, like for example, I'm getting an audition for an international feature film for a role that is in Spanish, or I went to a meetup, filmmakers meetup here in Vienna, and there's a guy who's like, I met him like a couple times, and he's like, yeah, we were just talking about you the other day, and I'm like, you did? So yeah, and that's yeah. If you just keep on doing what you're doing, then people, I think Adam said that, or somebody else probably before him, he was quoting it. I don't know, like you have to stay at it until people can't stop or can't not notice you.
That's a good one. That is a good one.
And yeah, just stay true to yourself and do what you love and for the right reasons, And I mean, it's easy to think, if I'd only gotten that job, I would have been in Cannes and I would have booked different other jobs because of that, like, I mean, it can happen, but we know so many stories about actors who booked great roles, great jobs, and after that, it took
Nothing.
another
Yeah.
like 4 years, I don't know, without any job. So that is just the life of an actor.
It is the
I mean, it
creative.
can happen, but that's like 0.05%, if even.
True. So true.
Yes. I want to ask you, you've studied with the theater, and that was like something that sparked your love for the craft. Would you like to go back and do something in the theater in any capacity?
Always,
Directing, writing,
always.
acting?
Always. And I've always done theater and film equally as much, I would say. It's only the last 2, 3 years that I haven't done any theater at all. But I've used to it was pretty equal. I mean, I was working much or doing much, but it was always equal, and if I didn't have a theater gig, I had a like a show. It was like a reading with songs and stuff with a colleague too, where we played in different cellar theaters and in wine cellars and stuff. So yeah, I'd love to go back. I even started writing a play, also based off the original screenplay, and yeah, I don't know.
Love is there. The love is there.
I'm
Verena.
open to it's I couldn't even say it's different, the theater and screen acting, it's different, but it's the same. And I love interacting on stage and having that consequential play, like in one, you have that concentration for 2 hours, and then talking with the audience after, and I love that. But I just love filmmaking, and I just love watching films and series. So it's yeah.
Beautiful. This has been amazing. Thank you so, so much for your precious time. We know that you're looking for a producer and a producer that is really open to enjoying, giving everyone a long time for the creative space, which is then also fun because having a set like that, I mean, is amazing. So I hope you find that beautiful producer that supports you in that way. Is there anyone else you need from the crew, or you have everyone else for the...
For now, probably not. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's always good to have a good assistant director,
And where's it best?
especially.
Sorry, say. Especially.
What was it?
You said it's always good to have
An assistant director. Yeah.
Okay. And where's it best to reach you? Like, where's...
By email is the best, probably. I'm also on Instagram. I have a website. I'm on all the platforms.
Everywhere.
Actors, platforms, IMDb, Spotlight.
We will have that all in the show notes. So everyone who's been listening, watching us, we will have it in the show notes for you. And do reach out to Verena. She's amazing. It's beautiful working with her. It's beautiful acting with her. I've done that. We've done some stuff together, scenes and stuff. I haven't been in theater. I haven't been on stage with you. I think that's something I would love to explore. I think that would be very nice.
Okay.
But yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah. But thank you. It's been amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having me.